Okay.
You are listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, Birmingham, Alabama.
Hello there, and this is the Fate Radio After Show with Frank Lee, who is my guest. I am Kat Hobson, your hostess, and we have had just the most interesting 2-hour show and decided that we had not quite covered everything that we wanted to talk about. So, with us, this could probably go for days or months or years. You never know.
Right.
And I think it's cool because we have so many people who are interested in what you have to say. And I know that they just were enjoying the program. We had a few minor glitches there at the top of the hour, and now everything seems to be better. I still don't quite understand why my mixer will be fine and then all of a sudden not. Do you understand why my mixer would be fine?
It's gremlins.
It is gremlins.
That is the only logical conclusion is gremlins.
Well, that's okay because you know what? We got a great second hour out of that after all, and it was a fantastic thing. I have enjoyed all these conversations that we've been having over the years. And, this is the time when the dogs are in here. They sound like velociraptors. And we have all the good times, and we have the beverages. We have me doing a little editing on the side, and we're just having so much fun. I wanted to ask you, where would you like to go with this conversation? Or let's ask in chat where they might like this conversation to go within reason.
Yeah, there we go.
Because, that's who we do the shows for, the listeners. And I think that I'm very fortunate to have so many fantastic ones. So.
Oh, yes. Well, I can say every time that I've ever been on your show, you do have an awesome audience. They ask some of the best questions, and you can tell that they stay engaged. They're not just turning on the show just to have it in the background. And I'm not just saying this for when I'm on here, because I listen every chance that I get to, and you really do have a great audience that follows you.
I am very fortunate with that. And I know it. And I appreciate it. But we've got... Well, you're in chat. Are you still in chat?
Yeah, let me get that pulled up here.
Oh, that's all right. But we've got a great starting point. And this is something that I get asked several times. I can't even tell you how many times I've been asked this recently. And that is, what's the best advice for a newbie?
Well, I would say on that, I may go back to what we were talking about in the second hour of the show, and that is, I'd say first and foremost, educate yourself. Get some good accredited books. Talk to someone in the field that's credible. Someone that, don't go for someone that, seems like they're a little wacko and, or if they seem like they're trying to mimic the TV shows. No, don't go for advice there. Go to somebody that talks like they got their head screwed on straight and ask them for some recommendations for some good books or good reference. I'm going to throw one out there. I always recommend to everybody. ESP Hauntings and Poltergeist by Lloyd Auerbach is a great book for an introduction into the paranormal. Lloyd Auerbach also wrote a book um, called Ghost Hunting in the New Millennium. It's excellent. Um, something like that where you can go in and see from a from a good standpoint of someone that is academically recognized and get realistic expectations. Um, you know, the well, like we said last hour, you know, the more you educate yourself, that's the bigger an investment that you're making into the paranormal because you can't expect to get more out of your research and investigations than you're willing to put into it.
Absolutely. And Lloyd is astounding.
He really is. Every time I've ever talked to him, I've just learned so much that you know, he's one of those people that consistently will blow your mind.
Well, yes. And I find it interesting because he included everything, a glossary, everything. Excuse me. And
he does a fantastic job of simplifying such complex concepts.
Well, yes. But that's kind of your claim to fame also too.
Well, that's only because I've studied the work of some people that were really good at it too. So by the way, we were talking about Lloyd.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And he is someone who I really enjoy a lot. I don't think he realizes how much I do. He is a great educator. He's a great speaker. He's a great guest. He is someone whose chocolates I would love to try. He is a chocolatier. And he also is Professor Paranormal. He is really that person. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know that he's been a huge inspiration to me and to the way that I do my research.
Well, yes, y'all are equally logical, which is a great thing. So he wants. I'm sorry. I was just going to say that the next question is favorite equipment.
My favorite is, I would say, a good camera. And not because I love to, not because I think if you go out and spend a few thousand on a camera that you're going to get something awesome to capture apparitions on. No. A good camera just makes it easier. It's going to capture your audio. It's going to capture what's actually happening. And it's going to document everything. And, one thing I will say to someone that's new, don't spend extra money on a camera because somebody told you it's going to help you capture an apparition on video. It's not. It don't matter if it's a $10 camera from Walmart or Dollar General, or if it's a $10,000 camera. One's just as good as the other as far as the chances of capturing something. If it's going to appear so that the camera can see it, it's going to appear. However, I will say get a good quality camera. You don't have to break the bank. But that camera, where it comes in is it documents everything that happens. And that's, a very handy tool for you to have. Just don't fall into the mindset of expecting to capture an apparition or something on camera every time you turn it on at a haunted place, because otherwise you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
True. There is a really tough question. And It's kind of sensitive. I don't generally go there on the program, but
Hmm.
it is a question from chat, and it's for you, so you can go there. But
Right.
um, pet peeves concerning the paranormal community.
Oh gosh, we got a few hours. You know, I would say probably one of my biggest pet peeves are, you know, it is the pop culture surrounding the paranormal community. Um, you've got people that really use it as more of a form of entertainment than an actual field of research. Now, when I'm saying that, I'm not saying you can't have fun while investigating. I have a ton of fun while
Absolutely.
I investigate. When we go on investigations, we jump around, we laugh, we really enjoy it and have a good time while we're doing it. But that your investigation still your your methods need to be serious. You need to be doing it based on credible research, not something you read in some mythology book that was written 500 years ago. Or you see all this craziness where you know 30, 40 people are piling into one house, and they're having a costume party while they're there and expecting to have a quality investigation. That's just absurd. Every single piece of data that you get, if you do have any kind of strange thing show up in your video or audio, it's going to be contaminated. It's going to be ruled out. Why? Because there's 40 people in a space that shouldn't have more than six. And,
Yes.
you know, a lot of people, one of my big pet peeves is um, people try to milk the paranormal field for money on, well, equipment. That's something we were just talking about over the weekend.
Hmm.
You know, like there's one, I won't call them out by name, but I will say that it's a very popular ghost hunting equipment website that they sell a camera that retails at $40. Now, wholesale, you got to figure it's probably about a third of that.
Right.
But they take a camera that retails for $40. They do a 5-minute procedure to it and turn around and sell it as sell it as if it were a much higher quality camera than it really is. And instead of it being a retail for $40 camera, it turns into a $200 camera. And there's so many things where people are getting ripped off on equipment because the paranormal is not a proven science. People can make any claim about their equipment that they want to, and how do you dispute it? There's far too many snake oil salesmen out there. You know, these magic dowsing rods aren't going to do any better than anything else, or this piece of equipment's not going to facilitate, um, you know, communication better than anything else, just because they put a magic crystal in it, or something like that. I mean, it's there's so much nonsense, and they take advantage of so many people in that way who. This falls back into people who haven't educated themselves on the paranormal and on the equipment, kind of set themselves up to fall victim to these people. Um, those are definitely some of my big pet peeves. The egos are something I always had a problem with. There's so many people that um, I had a conversation, we'll say, with one of these guys that makes paranormal apps for cell phones. Um, and I just made the